movement and structure. So as we know, all living organisms are made up of cells. Cells together make up tissues. Tissues make up organs. Organs make up organ systems. And those organ systems are what make up the body. So let's talk about some of the types of tissues, right, made up of cells, tissues within the human body. Okay, you have muscle tissue, connective tissue, nerve tissue, and epithelial tissue. Muscle tissue is the only kind that can contract or shorten. We talked about muscle tissue before and that it has a lot of mitochondria because it's releasing a lot of energy in those individual cells. Okay, connective tissue provides support and it connects parts. Okay, your bones, your ligaments, your tendons, all made of connective tissue. Nerve tissue is unique in that it's able to send a message in your body. That message is actually transmitted through an electrical impulse. Nerve tissue sends messages from your brain, which is a large bundle of nerve tissue throughout nerves, to all of your body and tells like your muscles to move and things like that. Epithelial tissue, that's what makes up your skin and your fingernails. Okay? It creates this protective covering on the body. So looking more closely at one type of connective tissue, your bones, your bones make up your skeletal system. Now, fun fact, humans have 206 bones. Okay, where bones connect to other bones, we call those ligaments. Where bones connect to muscles, we call those tendons. There are two main parts to your skeleton. There's the axial skeleton around this center axis or middle part of the body. The axial skeleton is made up of your head and your spine and your pelvis. The appendicular skeleton, that's everything that's attached, okay? Your arms and your legs are your appendicular skeleton, or your appendages. Now, human beings, our skeleton is inside of us, so we say it is an endoskeleton. All vertebrate organisms have an endoskeleton. Lobsters, however, their skeleton is outside of their body. It's a great protective barrier, and that's called an exoskeleton. So your skeletal system has some important jobs. Primarily, its job is to provide shape and support. But it also allows movement, it protects tissues and organs, it stores materials like calcium, and it produces blood cells. In addition to bones in your skeleton, you also have cartilage. Now, cartilage is a strong, flexible tissue. It's found in your nose and your ears, but also in between bones. Okay, it covers the ends of some bones, and it's what prevents them from grinding against each other. It's also found in between your vertebrae, where it acts as a shock absorber, right? Vertebrae are protecting the spine, and in between each of those little vertebrae is this cartilage disc. Before babies are born, their skeleton is actually made up mostly of cartilage. As it hardens with calcium, it then turns into bone. And that process of cartilage hardening into bone is called ossification. Okay, there's four types of bones. Flat bones, which protect and support body organs. Your ribs are flat bones. Long bones, which support weight and are used for movement. Short bones, which provide small movement. Your fingers, also called phalanges, are short bones. And irregular bones, which support and protect, like, again, your vertebrae. Where these two bones meet, you have a joint, okay? A joint that swings and rotates is called a ball and socket joint, like your shoulders and your hips. Your elbows, fingers, knees, those are all hinge joints, your toes as well, and it just moves back and forth, much like a door opening and closing. A pivot joint allows you to move side to side and up and down. Now, the only pivot joint you have is in your neck. Gliding joint allows for movement in all directions. Okay, your wrists and your ankles are gliding joints. A fixed joint is a joint that actually doesn't move. Within your skull, it's made up of more than one piece, but they don't move. So those are fixed joints or immovable joints. Now, bones and joints can have some disorders. Now, the most obvious one being arthritis, which is an inflammation of the joints. You may have seen a family member who has arthritis. A sprain, which is an injury in which ligaments around a joint have been torn or stretched. And what causes many of these injuries is stress. And I don't mean like, oh no, I have a test tomorrow, but stress meaning that the joint or bone has been moved beyond its normal range of motion. Now, the treatment for a sprain is just to rest it. However, from a dislocation or a fracture, where the bones have moved out of their normal position, they need to be put back into place and immobilized. in order for treatment to occur. So looking at your muscular system, you have over 600 muscles in your body, and of course muscles are attached to bones, so it's the muscular and skeletal system together. If all 600 of these muscles pulled in one direction, you could pull 25 tons, but they don't all pull in one direction. They pull opposite one another. They work in pairs. You have three types of muscle. Okay, there's smooth muscle, which is also called involuntary muscle. Smooth muscle is what works all of the things in your body that you don't have to think about, like your diaphragm, which allows you to breathe, the walls of your digestive system, like your stomach. You don't have to think about those. You have no control of the smooth muscle. Cardiac muscle is also involuntary. You don't control your heart muscle, but it's actually kind of cool looking. We'll try and look at it under a microscope. Cardiac muscle is only found in the heart. And then skeletal muscle. Skeletal muscle is voluntary muscle. Okay, you can choose whether you move your muscles in your hand or not. Some examples would be your bicep or your gluteus maximus. Now, skeletal muscle is usually found in pairs, and they work in opposite directions. So as one muscle is contracting, the other one relaxes. The flexor is referring to the muscle that flexes, and the extensor is referring to the muscle that extends or straightens out.